10, 9.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RXMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio. Watch out!
Welcome to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, by the technician, Chris Aceto, on this November 5th, 2018 evening. And Chris, we are in the month of November. One more month to go, and I can't believe it. We got another year coming down. But we got the NPC Nationals coming up, obviously, in another week or so, and we got a lot going on in the bodybuilding world as the season closes out. And I understand you were stuck in the airport. You slept over. You got a free room and board in Kennedy Airport.
I was. I went to the Shawn Rhoden movie, FLEXATRON, the making of, or Becoming Shawn Rhoden. That's what it's called. FLEXATRON, Becoming Shawn Rhoden.
Where did that debut? Where did you see that?
That was at, there was a private showing at one of the major studios. It wasn't produced by a major studio, but one of the major studios hosted it.
Where was that?
At downtown Manhattan.
Oh, so you were in Manhattan. Oh, is that why you were at the? You said you went to the Empire State Building? Yeah.
So, Dave, you want Empire State Building? So I flew in. I took my 13-year-old, and we flew in. Let's see.
Oh, just the two of you?
Yeah, we went in. We got up Thursday morning in Maine at 3 a.m. for a 5 a.m. flight.
Okay.
So I wanted to give him a little bit of the New York experience, but he had to be back for a Saturday football game, and he has a Sunday championship soccer game.
Oh boy!
So
double duties. He's the dual sport.
So he's excited. We get up at 3. We go drive to the Portland airport. We fly in.
See, if you were a real sports dad, you'd be like, we can't go because this is going to screw my kids' games up. You know.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Well, we are going to real sport. We're going to see the FLEXATRON movie. You know. And so we get to the. We get to JFK. We take a subway into Manhattan, and I have one bag with me, one little carry-on bag. He has a little carry-on bag, and I said, "Well, let's go to the Empire State Building. You know, it's buildings. I love that stuff."
Where were you planning on staying, by the way?
We stayed at the Edison Hotel on 47th, West 47th. Okay. And I get to the table, to the Empire State Building, and you have to go through like metal detectors. And they go and
as you should, right? That's right.
And so I put my bag on one, and that goes through. And then they go, "Hey, you can't wear that jacket." So I put my jacket through.
Mm-hmm. It's like you go through the airport again.
Yeah. So I go through, and they say you have tools, and I said I don't have tools. So they said, "Get tools." I said I don't even know how. Which is the truth. I don't know how to use tools. Why would I have tools? They take out of my bag, Dave, pliers, a wrench, and a small hammer.
Did you notice
that I left This is the same bag that I left Portland, Maine, in the airport.
That you made it through the airport security with there. Yeah.
I couldn't. I'm like, what are those? I had put them in my bag when I had gone to try to put together. I think I talked about it last week's show. A dresser, which I looked at the directions and I said, well, I'm not smart enough for this. And I had to recruit the 13-year-old.
Yeah, right. The son put it together.
So he put it together, and those tools. I got panicky and just put a bunch of tools in that bag and brought them to Portland, and that was the same bag that I packed my clothes in.
Didn't you notice that the bag was a little heavier?
No, there's an under pocket. There's like a weird under pocket.
No, but it must have weighed more because of the tools in there.
I'm so busy. I wouldn't even, Dave, I noticed nothing.
So what they did? They took the tools from you?
No, they take the tools and they say you can get them when you when you come back.
Although, how are you going to fly back with the tools?
That was a test. They took the hammer and they took the wrench, but they gave me the pliers.
Got you.
So
I guess you can't hijack any planes with a pair of pliers. To me, the pliers sound more dangerous.
Yeah, it's all dangerous. I mean, you can't have a shampoo bottle, but you can have the pliers, the hammer, and the.
You can grab someone's testicles with the pliers, right?
Yeah.
What movie was that from?
Probably like Airplane or something with Leslie, whatever his face is.
Sounds like a Pulp
OJ.
Fiction type of a movie, but I don't know.
So then I can't find my jacket, and I just go nuts because I never take my phone is in that jacket,
right,
and my wallet is in that jacket. Oh. So I'm in Manhattan
Panicked.
with, and they're like, I'm the guy with the hammer, the screwdriver. I mean, the hammer, the the pliers, and now I'm screaming, "Where the hell is my jacket?
Oh no!
Where's my jacket?" And
it didn't come through the X-ray machine.
They go, what jacket? I said, the jacket that you said I had to take off. And the lady says, "Oh yeah, I remember that jacket." I said, "Where?"
Man.
I was in such a panic because I'm thinking, I don't have a penny, I don't have a credit card, and worse, I don't have a phone to be able to call anyone.
The phone was in the pocket too.
Yep. So they can't find the jacket, and I screamed, "Stop the belt! Stop the belt!" So I deliberately cross the line, and like a little alarm goes off, and like the head guy comes, and I tell him, I said, "I'm here, I'm not unique, but I'm here with a 13-year-old, and I have no wallet and no phone, and nobody can find." Bizarrely enough, they searched for like 3 minutes. It had fallen somehow. I don't know if someone took it out of one of those bins, but it was underneath the machine.
Oh my God!
And the guy found it. The guy found it. I don't even know why he would. The only reason he probably looked is because I think he figured out quickly, okay, this guy, even though he's got a hammer, pliers.
Now, let me ask you this question. Are you holding the pliers in your hands now because he gave you the pliers?
No, they had already taken from me and put them in a bag and moved. So he didn't know I had the hammer, the pliers, and the...
Oh, okay.
But he probably looked at my son's face like, I can't believe, like, my father's got no phone and no money and was stuck in New York.
Yeah.
And so the guy, like, frantically looking for it, and he's asking them, well, where could it have gone? And
I'm surprised they didn't
know.
accuse you of kidnapping your son because because he's half black.
Yeah, of course. Well, people always ask me, see, I always do this. He's my biological son. Because people say, he's biological? Yeah, I'm a biological father. And so then he found it, and I was like so relieved. And I was like,
you should have sued them for mental anguish. You should have gotten a few bucks
I still do this.
from
Well,
the Empire State Building.
No, I still do.
They should have given you a free coin or something like that,
I should have called Sean Allen to come in and put him to sleep. No, but Dave, you know what's bizarre? I did this. I had this weird little, I can call Dave. I'm like, wait a minute, he doesn't live in New York anymore.
That's right. I couldn't even come to the rescue. Sean Allen is probably closer than I was anyway, in Jersey. He was ready to step in for you. I thought you weren't going to be able to do the show this week because you're like, I'm in the airport. I can't do the show till Monday. I'm like thinking, and Sean Allen texts me like he was a psychic. I'm ready to do the show. Are you guys doing it tonight? I'm like, at this point, I didn't think you were going to do it. I'm like, Sean, maybe tomorrow night you and I will do it alone. I said, if Chris doesn't feel up to it, I didn't know what was going on. And then you called me and said, let's do the show. Now I'm gonna hear it from him. He's gonna get mad at me that I didn't call him to do the show. But last week was big Sean Allen week. This week we got to go back because a lot of people liked him, but they felt he was disruptive to our flow of the TV,
really?
of the radio show. Not the other shows. He's fine because I'm gonna get him on Iron Rage this week with Lee Priest because that's what. So Sean, I know you're listening. You'll be on Iron Rage with Lee Priest, and we'll dish it out over there.
So
that's what people want to see.
We'll come back to the Rhoden movie, but so to fast forward, we're leaving. That's right. Thursday. We're leaving Friday night on a 10:30 flight, and we're waiting in the airport to 2. The flight's delayed. Then they cancel it at 2:30.
Oh, you mean going home because you got a game on Saturday?
Yep.
Okay.
We got the game, and so it's 2:30 in the morning, and my son says,
"What airline flies at 2 in the morning?"
Well, it was a 10:30 flight back to Maine on JetBlue. Right. And it got delayed to 2 in the morning.
Delayed, okay.
Yeah.
Once they delay it past midnight, you're not getting out.
Yeah, exactly. So I knew it was coming. And my son said, what are we going to do? I said, you see that floor right there? We're going to make little beds and we're going to sleep. He was like, what do you mean we're going to sleep here? And it's funny because I had texted Jose not too soon before or after. And Jose's like, well, now he knows. I mean, this happens to you all the time. Or, someone in bodybuilding who... Like him,
the poor kid, he's got to play a game the next day. Like, and you're like, got him sleeping on the floor.
So I have to do this. I have to plan. I call my wife and say, call the coach in the morning. Tell him to take all the football equipment, and we're going to land at 11. I'm going to fly, which is Dave. I flew up the highway at 90.
First of all, there would have been no way that Amanda would have let me sleep on the floor with Logan. We would have been in a hotel.
Well, he's 13. Logan's 2. Logan would have taken off.
I'm saying even if he was older, you got away with murder on that one. So you get on the airplane the next day, and what day do you get in? And what time do you get into the airport?
We get in. Our flight landed exactly at 11.
And when's the game?
The game is at 11:30, so I think you'll be a little bit late. The game got delayed a half hour.
Oh,
we got there 11:45.
Right.
The game was delayed to 15 minutes, and they won. No, they ended up losing the game anyway. They lost.
Now, here's the question: how did your son play?
He played pretty good. I could tell he was tired.
He had to be exhausted.
Yeah.
That's the
He
worst.
was. I told him
You're jeopardizing his scholarship potential there.
Now, after that parent-teacher conference, he can go anywhere. I was actually telling him, I said, go to NYU or something, because one, it'll be free, and then I'll get to come down here. The flight's 1 hour. I'll be able to come down.
Why will it be free?
I'll look. The school will be free. He'll get a full scholarship for sure.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, he's off the charts, smart. Yeah.
Oh, good. I didn't know that.
And I told you I had the parent-teacher conferences, and I think in the last show.
Yeah.
And the teachers, it was like a love fest. They thought he was like the best. And
That's great. That's awesome.
of course, I embellish. I said,
NYU is a very tough school, though.
He makes his own furniture.
I know you told
And
me.
the teacher said, "You're kidding me." I said, "Well, he puts together the stuff. It's harder than making it, you know."
He does all. Basically, I have him slaving over all the stuff that I don't want to do.
So we had a good time. We were there. We should have done like, you know, those little travel shows, like, or like,
Yeah, you should have
you
done
have time to do
filming.
like 36 hours or 48 hours in Manhattan. That's what we did.
Yeah, you like what's his name? Anthony. Now that Anthony Bourdain is dead, you could probably take over.
Oh, we ate everywhere. We spent a fortune for it. You know how expensive New
You don't
York
even
is.
eat though. You were
I know,
probably
but you-
drinking coffee every time you went to the food places.
But
with
you
him.
know when the first time someone who's never been to it's the second time he's been to New York, but when you go to New York and there's just so many places to eat. And if you have a
course.
big you just say,
Every
"Hey, let's
corner.
eat there." I said, "We just ate. We
Was
just ate." He said, "Well, let's try that." I said, "Okay."
They got pretzels on the corner. You got to get a pretzel. They got coffee shops. They got donuts. They got hamburger
All those.
joints.
He loved the food carts. You know what I mean, with
Oh,
the chicken
yeah.
breasts and the
He was probably in heaven.
So
You probably were getting such a kick out of watching him eat
I
all the
was.
food too. I'm sure.
I was. But we went down for the FLEXATRON.
Yeah. So what? So
Becoming-
now, who is invited to this thing?
His family and some movie people and me, and of course Guy Sistinino showed up. He was invited.
Right.
I saw Rick Collins, one of his associates, Jay. I don't know his last name, but he's a lawyer with.
Okay. He was.
works
How did
with-
he get invited there?
I think someone knew Rick, and they invited Rick, and Rick didn't go. And Jay was a bodybuilder, or lifts weights, and
Right.
he's a big guy. And he
Rick
went.
something. Yeah.
Your name comes up, of course. He knows you somehow.
Well, they're
when
my
Rick-
legal. They're my legal team. Yeah. They represent my company. So.
And we all piled into the little screening room. And
How many
and
people
watched-
were in there?
I think there were probably about 50, maybe.
Oh, okay. So it was a very small, intimate thing. And was it
Yeah.
good?
Oh, it was very good. It was very good. It
Are
was-
they submitting this to like film festivals? What's going on with
yeah,
this thing?
I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it, but they're associated. They're 1 degree separated. It's produced by, oh my God, they're going to kill me if I forget it. League. I'll come up with the name of it.
Why don't
But
they get me? Why don't they get me like a link to something so I can watch it and review it for the site,
Yeah, well, you know what? I did say that.
like I did for the
I
other
texted you.
movies.
What I text you? I said, Dave, you should have been a co-producer here on it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be a co-producer. I'm just saying we should review it for RX Muscle so we can give them some publicity for it.
Yeah. I was going to say the Justice League, but that's not it.
The thing that worked out great, what I didn't know, you told me that they've been filming this for a while, so they didn't know.
3 years.
Yeah, they didn't know that Shawn Rhoden was going to win the Olympia. So
No, they were
what a
going to
great
wrap it up in
ending.
August. They were going to wrap it up in August, and Sean said, wrap it up, after the Olympia. He didn't say I was going to win it to them,
Right.
but
The great thing is most of these documentaries that they do that I watched, and even most of the ones that are really good, they have terrible endings because the people never win the shows, and they have to kind of make it like this like life lesson type of like ending. This is great. He wins the greatest title of all in all bodybuilding, Mr. Olympia.
oh,
I mean,
that's the
greatest
good
ending.
part of the movie, because the message was, there's a life lesson there, but it culminates to some degree. It does culminate with the victory, but the way Sean handles the victory, it's so downplayed in the movie. It's just he goes back home and he plays with his daughter in the backyard, and he relaxes, and there's no fist pumping, and
Well, were they even allowed to film backstage at the Olympia?
They weren't.
No, of course, of course. God forbid, right? I'm sure they had the whole thing finished already.
And Dave, they're 1 degree separated from like the guy who did it. You know, his boss started the 30 and 30 series on.
Wow, that's great. I'm sure it's great. You know, the funny thing is they probably didn't even need the Olympia. They probably had the whole thing finished already because there's no way they would have had it edited.
No, they didn't. The producer told me we didn't need it. We did not need it.
Yeah, so they threw it in as an extra at the end. I'm sure that's why it didn't seem so. Why it wasn't such a big deal, you know. I
did want Guy Sisternino to include the bloopers at the end of the movie, which is all the Guy has spent tons and tons of time with Rhoden.
Oh, he has? I didn't even know that.
Oh, and he's videoed. He's got this funny compilation of Rhoden falling asleep in the most impossible places.
I don't know how Shawn hangs out with Guy because Guy's too intense. Shawn's so laid back. You would think like Rhoden would get annoyed with Guy, you know? Like, all right, so calm down, slow down already. Let me relax for a minute.
Shawn just can't believe Guy's level of intensity on.
maybe they balance each other out a little bit. You know?
He always tells him, he says, you know, Guy, if you slow down like me, you'll probably like outgrow the 212.
Oh my God. What a odd couple those two are.
I know, isn't it?
Right?
They're very tight.
Like I said, sometimes people balance each other. You know, you can't have two guys in the same room together. They would not get along. No way.
Oh, they'd hate each other.
Yeah.
It'd be like my father and your father, the same thing, but they'd say, right? Sal's he's a faker.
Yeah.
Your father you'd say after a while he'd like my father. Then after like 3 days he'd say, you know, Rocco's you know.
They get into an argument.
I don't know if he's Italian. Maybe he's just a Greek or Sicilian or something with the Italian name.
They would argue. They would get into some kind of an argument over something stupid, too. It would be ridiculous. We'd be like, "Are you guys serious? Yeah. Don't fucking tell me. Don't fucking tell me." Actually, my Amanda posted. It was my dad looking at the ultrasound picture of my son. We got like a 4D ultrasound done. I guess like a couple months before he was born, and my dad was looking at was showing him the ultrasound. And he thinks we're like pulling like a gag on him, like it's like impossible technology, like that's science fiction to him.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we're like, what do you think? And after we finally convince him that it's real, then he's looking. He's like, this nose is too developed on this baby, you know.
Oh yeah, he goes into critical.
This can't be an unborn baby. I'm like, Dad, it is. What do you want me to tell you? So he's going. It's really funny. He's so coherent and like insightful. I'm like, holy mackerel, what the fuck? He really went downhill fast. I didn't even realize it. He was completely drinking his wine and giving us insights into it. It was really funny. So it showed up on the Facebook timeline. So she had reposted it. I was like, holy mac, my dad was really pretty with it. 2.5 years ago. But yeah, things change, man, quickly in the world of.
In the world of the world.
Brain medicine, yeah. Speaking of which, a lot of people have been... I've been selling a lot of the Euphoria product that I have on my website. I think it's because we put up an interview with Brian Cunningham, who's an old school friend of mine, and he makes his own... He has his own little supplement line, but he does like kind of like offbeat type of things, and he makes this product. It's like a blend of different GABA metabolites, and it gives you like a euphoric feeling, and it helps you relax, and... So I have it's called Euphoria, and I sell a ton of it on my DavePalumbo.com website.
Big send me a bottle. I love I love those brain altering.
Yeah, you would like that actually.
I told you I got one time.
I want to give you the Neuralize product that I'm working on. You'll love this because you love stimulants, man.
Oh, the one time I told you I remember the one time I took 1/4 of a tab of Adderall was at the USA like 4 years ago, and I wanted to like. Maybe I should move to Manhattan, buy Trump Tower, run for president, feed the world.
Yeah, you were too
I had like lists going of everything that I wanted to accomplish.
That's funny. It's really funny. That's how I felt the one time I did some kind of like, I think it was like, it wasn't Adderall, something comparable to it.
And then I had a 2-week crash on 1/4 of a tab. I mean, for 2 weeks I was just like, I couldn't wake up.
Knocks the shit out of you, I know. I'm looking at my desk here, and I got these dinosaurs on them. I bought my son this package of dinosaurs. I got to tell you, the dinosaurs today blow the dinosaurs away from when we were kids, the toys. these things are great. I'm buying myself my own things. They move. They got great head movements. They look better. They have actually texturing on them. What great toys they have today. When I go to the store to buy my son toys, I'm really going to buy myself the toys. I buy what I want.
I know you love the toy aisle.
But I'm saying I buy him what I want. I'm like, I convince him. I'm like, you got to get look at these dinosaurs. I'm like, holy, I don't think he even likes dinosaurs. I'm like, he's like, I need, and then he wants the dinosaurs because I get him all excited about it. I'm like, oh, thank God, he wants the dinosaurs, and I can buy the dinosaurs because I really want the dinosaurs, you know?
Yeah, I know you. The snake is just a warm up for the dinosaurs. I know you're gonna be like into the snakes.
You know,
into the dinosaurs when.
I have dreams that I have cloned the dinosaurs, you know, and I'm thinking to myself in the dream, I'm like, I got this little baby T-Rex that just hatched out in my back. What am I going to do when the thing starts growing? Right now, it's cute. It's going to grow. What am I going to do with it? These are the crazy anxiety dreams I have. You know, I did it. I can't tell anyone. What am I going to do with this thing? I said. What if I said, man is going to kill me because it's dangerous with the kids, but I got something that no one's done. I cloned a dinosaur, and I don't even know how I did it, to be honest with you.
Well, that's a good children's book right there.
Yeah.
Dave who cloned the dinosaur.
Oh, you know how I did it? This was my idea. I think I told you this once on one of the shows. This was my cockamamie idea. I said, if they got 3D printers, right? What if they can clone? And I know I told you the story because I don't want to sound like I'm insane. So if anyone out there listening, you told me this. Yeah. Clone you should be able to, if you can print, you know, kidneys with these 3D printers, you should be able to print DNA, right? So why can't you just, you know, clone the DNA of the dinosaur with the printer? And then put it into, like, I don't know, an ostrich egg like they did in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you get baby T-Rexes in your backyard. Eating up all the. They're worried about the Burmese python invasion
in Florida,
Everglades in Florida. Just let a few T-Rexes go.
They'll take care of them in a week.
Take care of everything.
Put them to sleep, as Sean Allen
said. Yeah. That's right. Oh my God, that's funny. So you know this the Mad Bomber, Cesar Sayak, the guy who was
bodybuilder. Yeah, he competed in a show.
Yeah, the bodybuilder guy. Someone texted me a whole bunch of pictures of him when he was younger. He was like a
you kidding
Chippendale.
Me? See, I knew this.
This is it gets better. He was a Chippendale dancer, and he was into the whole the bodybuilding lifestyle. And someone said, "Oh, and the ironic thing is, you know, I know for a fact that Valentino used to sell him steroids." So I text Valentino, and I say, "Gregg," I said, do you know the Mad Bomber that's out there?
Don't tell me Valentino knows him.
Cesar Sayak guy. He's like, what about him? I said, did you sell him steroids? He goes, you know? He goes, he looked really familiar to me. I couldn't figure out. Where'd you get that information? I said, well, someone told me that he used to sell him steroids, and then he sold them, and he got busted, and he went to jail. That's when he went. One of the times he got arrested. He's like, yeah. I did. He's like, holy shit, that's pretty fucked up. I said, well, you didn't know he was going to send bombs in the mail to fucking people. I said, but later
maybe
he looks terrible now, you know. He looks terrible. But, yeah, what a nut job, right? Valentino was meeting with this guy at night. I said he could have slipped a bomb in your fucking in your underwear or in your toilet paper roll that you have in your sock you carry around with you. What a nut! He's from Brooklyn. The guy.
Yeah,
he's 56. He's right. He's the same age as Valentino. What happens to people?
They'll blame it on Valentino and
they'll get
suspension.
Him they'll subpoena him. What happens in people's heads, Chris, as they get older? How do people get so wacky? You know,
stimulus.
He obviously was in love with himself.
One, there's too much. Like, I know that doesn't make sense to a sane person. But there's too much information bombarding you morning, noon, and night. And there's so many ways to sedate yourself from, you know, pot to Adderall to alcohol to uppers to downers to opioids to, everything plays with it. When you start out with brain chemistry, supplement Euphoria, your supplement. To support, quote, like positive brain chemistry or alertness, but there's a lot of stuff that leads to mental confusion. And
well, Jerry Ward watched my video I did with Shawn Ray. We were talking about Ronnie Coleman.
Couple that with hate and Trump's speeches, and you get a bodybuilder gone AWOL.
Well, is it Jerry Ward? I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's applicable. Jerry Ward did a video. He's got a very popular YouTube channel, and he talked about. He was commenting on the video that Shawn Ray and I did about Ronnie Coleman and how Shawn thinks that he caused all his problems, but not early in his career, but later, like the re-breaking of the screws in his back, and this is Jerry Ward's theory is that Ronnie's on painkillers, and the narcotic painkillers are warping his mind, so he's not thinking clearly. that was his analysis and theory about why Ronnie is still training at the gym and sacrificing, screwing up the surgeries that he's getting.
Well, could be that his addiction is. Don't forget the greatest addiction of all is the pump.
Right.
When you getting a killer pump can make you forget all your problems.
Yeah. Well,
a killer pump. You know what I mean? Like a killer workout where you just feel like what? Superhuman, right? Mm-hmm. So you if there's a desire or a drive to go back to that, even if you got injuries.
He's saying that he's making poor decisions because he's on opiates.
No. That's
what he's saying. I don't know if I buy into that. I don't know. Sounds a little suspicious to me. What do you think?
There's. I don't know what Shawn said, so I'm.
No, well, Shawn was basically saying that Ronnie's just nuts because he said he's addicted to the gym and that he can't stop and that.
That was my point. He might be addicted to the gym.
That's what Shawn said. He's causing his own problems. He should be playing golf or something like that. Just staying out of the gym totally at this point. And he might be right at this point. I don't think that I was defending Ronnie in the sense that people were trying to blame steroids and his training on what happened. Anyone can get hurt doing anything. You can get hurt bench pressing 200 pounds. You don't need to bench 400 pounds to get hurt permanently. It's just a matter of moving the wrong way, slipping, and once you hurt yourself and injure something, like especially in your spine, it's not getting better. And if you love bodybuilding and you're the best in the world, you're not going to stop because of that. So you can't blame that. I did agree with Shawn in the sense that I said maybe now it's not serving Ronnie to be going to the gym and trying to leg press, after having, back surgery like that, especially knowing his history of breaking screws and stuff like that in his back. So in a sense, I disagree with Shawn in one sense, and then the other sense, I agreed with him only now because it's like, even my leg, I have this quad to keep re-ruptured 3 times. I'm not going to the gym and squatting. I'm not trying to tear it completely off at this point. It doesn't pay, and I don't want to go through that again. Mm-hmm. So you know how it is. Once you get something fixed and it doesn't take, the redo on it is the odds of it staying fixed is really bad, from what I understand. Sure. And that's look at Mike.
Well, that's with anything. That's
The problem is that Ronnie's in a lot of pain. That's the problem, Chris. So I don't know. I think in his mind he thinks that the weight training will strengthen him and will make him feel better. Would you say that's valid?
Yeah, that sounds like that sounds like a plausible. That sounds valid. It sounds plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. After you have a surgery, any real benefit to going to you go into a gym for what, I guess. I guess, but that's coming from me who doesn't even go to the gym. Even to look what's in it.
Yeah. Funny. Anyway, so the interview I had referenced earlier with Brian Cunningham is it's up on the site now. It's we talk about ayahuasca, we talk about mind altering types experiences, and I think people will enjoy it. It's I call it bodybuilding of the mind, because the bodybuilding is it's not just about your body, it's about your whole mental being. And I think a lot of guys are weak mentally. They're great physically, they're just weak mentally. So it's an interesting conversation.
A lot of people who appear very strong mentally are actually very weak mentally.
Yeah, well, that's because they're putting on a facade. Being disingenuine or disgenuine, I guess is the word.
I mean, I'm always skeptical of someone who comes across as extremely strong mentally, unless you can see it. Unless you can see it by example. But people who talk about it, right. They could have just listened to too many Anthony Robbins.
Guy Cisternino, by the way, is going to be in Dubai. Did you know that? I just saw him on the.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll get to hang out with him.
He's all over the place. Yeah,
that'll be fun.
He'll be the only one there that who won't have jet lag.
Maybe I can convince him to jump off the Burj.
Well, speaking of injuries, he's got two big shoulder injuries.
I told him, I warned him early in his career. I said, "You're going to wind up just like me."
Yeah, those. Yeah.
He's had the same surgeries already, and now he's going. Watch what happens within the next 5 to 10 years. He's going to need. They're going to tell him he needs a shoulder replacement. If he's smart, he won't get it until he absolutely needs it, like I did. I told you I'm getting the December 17th. The week after I get back from Dubai, I'm going in getting my shoulder done.
Are you looking forward to going to Dubai?
Yeah, I am. I wish it wasn't so. I wish I could just push a button and be there. Although I love the plane flight, it's a lot of days, man. Oh, it's a lot of days, Chris.
Well, you're not going to be stuck in JFK sleeping on the floor.
No, I'll be just driving.
Are you flying first class or?
No, I told him he doesn't have to send me. I hate wasting.
Oh yeah, we went over that last week. Yeah, you're like me. Yeah.
I got to drive to Orlando for 3 hours and then drive back. It's going to be a long trip. I leave Wednesday, I get back Sunday, but it's a lot of travel. 2 days of traveling. It just kills time, and I know that I'm going to fall behind because I know when I go to Dubai I'm going to want to do stuff there. Especially I get there a day early, I guess technically, and so the show's not till Friday. I'm there on Thursday, so I'm going to want to do stuff and record stuff. And I have a client of mine who's a really good client of mine who's there, and he works in the building next to the hotel. So I told him, I said, Thursday, fucking, you better take off work because you're going to be my chauffeur. We're going to be going all over Dubai, and we're going to be filming and. Hopefully I get thrown in jail or anything like that.
Rami's in Dubai, I hear, by the way.
That's going to be another video we're going to do in search of Rami.
Where is Rami? Yeah. Well, if you find him, he won't interview because he doesn't do interviews.
Well, he does them with me when in person. He doesn't do them over Skype or anything like that. But I will. If I'll find him, believe me, he'll interview with me. There's no doubt, guaranteed. You got to get his address for me. I'm just going to show up at his house. Can you imagine that? He just pull up and ring his doorbell. And Rami answers the phone.
Oh, he'd definitely do he'd invite you right in.
Yeah. I go into Rami's house and I'm interviewing him in Dubai while he's in his underwear, sitting watching TV, playing video games. You think Rami plays video games?
No. No.
Why did he decide to pick Dubai to live in, by the way?
I don't know, but,
What's going on with Bader? Is he talking to Bader still?
I don't know. Where is Bader?
I haven't heard a word from Bader.
Where is Waldo? That's what I keep saying. Where is he?
Speaking of which, I never knew.
Everyone listens to the show in Kuwait, so you guys are listening. Where is Darth Bader?
You think he's hiding out?
That might be one of the best nicknames of all time, by the way.
I think that, and I have to give you credit for that because you created that. And then you said you remember the vision? Remember that like little cartoon character someone made of Darth Vader? I showed you. I had it on my Facebook page.
What, they used his face or something? Or?
Well, yeah, they had half his face and then the other half was the Darth Vader mask.
He probably loved it though.
I would. It was great. I thought it was fantastic.
I sent you the picture of my boat, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
That I used to have.
I loved it.
If I had that, I'd be like him and I'd interview off the back end of it with you.
That's right.
About how Shawn Rhoden won the Olympia. And how the trophy is in his garage and not in Kuwait.
Exactly. So they came out with the 2019 pro schedule.
Oh my
I don't know if you saw that. Did you see it?
No. Where IPB or was it NPC? Where do they put it? I still haven't figured it.
The IPBpro.com. So we got the Arnold is the date of the February 28th through the March 3rd. Arnold Australia, which is going to be the weekend. Not that. I think it's the following weekend. 2 weekends after. It's not the weekend after. It's 2 weeks after. And then you got the Indy Pro has been moved up to the end of the month of March. We got the IFBB Champions of Power and Grace. That's Pro Masters, man. Oh, who cares about that?
Then the Cal, then
we got the
Vancouver,
New York Pro.
New York Pro.
May. California's right after the week after that. Toronto the week after that. Chicago about a month after that. Vancouver after the week after that. And there's a the Tampa Pro. It's the 8th. Wings of Strength, Tampa Pro. Well, they got the Masters. That's the Pittsburgh Masters. There's not a lot of shows this year, open shows. You got the another Masters show, but Tim Gard is putting all these Masters. Now, it's possible that some of these shows haven't been inserted into the schedule yet. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they're still negotiating stuff like that. But it doesn't right now. That doesn't look like a huge amount of shows. So I don't know what that means for pro bodybuilding, but it means you better get your butt out there and compete.
Am I looking? Please don't tell me this. Am I seeing things?
What?
Men's 212, Arnold Classic 212.
I didn't even notice that.
You got to be kidding me.
I don't. See
I was told there is.
I don't see an Arnold
green,
Classic.
In green.
The first one's New Zealand.
No, keep going down. It says Men's
Indy?
212, Arnold Classic 212.
No, I don't see it. You're looking at something.
Oh, that's I'm in the wrong year. 2018.
There you go. Yeah, I am really surprised that Arnold got rid of the 212. I can't figure it out. I still can't figure it out. Doesn't make sense to me. Why, of all divisions, they got rid of that one? I think it was one of the more popular ones, don't you?
Well, he's another one who does an interview. Ask him.
Well, I can't get an interview with him.
I know. Ciccarello won't ask him.
I think it was a very, very bad decision.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible decision.
Because usually when they get rid of something, it's because everyone else is going to get rid of it later. You know, like when they got rid, they were the first ones to get women's bodybuilding. They got rid of.
It's called writing on the wall.
You think that? I don't think they're going to get rid of the 212. You think maybe that's why Flex Lewis really retired? Maybe he was given, this. They told him ahead of time, hey, we're gonna get rid of this thing. You know,
look,
I don't think so.
The Arnold 212 never made it off the rinky-dink stage.
Yeah, they never put it on the main stage, right?
So it was never even. I mean, I think it.
I thought they had them do their posing routines
in terms of the prejudging. Yeah. Well, big deal. You know. Well,
I understand about the expo because they try to get they want to get.
I don't understand excitement.
They want to get people. They want to get excitement going on the expo. Not that they need it.
Well, you know what? Then you don't know how to run an expo.
Right. Well, they don't need.
I mean, you got to. It's just like you got to be critical when things are important to criticize. If you can't ever take the 212 and move it onto a real stage, then it doesn't show real commitment.
Well, that's why they got rid of it
in the first place.
They don't.
Well, yeah, but
that's why they
it's
got
like
rid
doing
of it.
this. It's like getting married and saying I'm not really involved. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, Chris, that's why they got rid of it. They weren't really dedicated to it. They really didn't like it.
Well, then I agree with you. You're right. They weren't.
They probably think classic is.
But the point is, if it was on the stage and it was a bust, then you can say it was a bust.
Mm-hmm.
We made a mistake, and we're either going to have it, in the parking lot. Let's create some excitement in the parking lot.
Sure.
I mean, when you support something, you got to. You know what? It's like an apartment. You remodel it 50%. Nobody wants it. Right? You go in, there's a nice kitchen, and then the bathrooms. Well, we're going to get to that in 3 years. Sometime we're going to get to it. Either you give it a try and it doesn't work, and you're wasting money by remodeling the apartment in full, but you don't do it halfway.
No, I'm on board with you on this. Believe me. This past weekend we had some action in Sacramento, the Sacramento Pro Championships, men's physique, won by Kamani Victor. over in Canada there. Dean Balabas finishes in the second position, and Audrey Benson finishes third. Congratulations to those guys. Pro Bikini, Jordan Lee wins it. Congratulations to her. You know, all these people qualify for next year's Olympia, which is kind of cool. Kim Gutierrez from Chile, second, and Brina Martinez in the third position. So, once again, congratulations to all those ladies. It was a slow weekend in the IFBB. There was a lot of amateur shows out there. Obviously, there's a lot of, whenever you have the nationals coming up, all the pro qualifiers are like the week before, 2 weeks before. So I know I had a lot of athletes competing this past weekend. So the bodybuilding world has been busy. The pro league, has been a little slow because we're getting to the end of the year. But that's the way it goes, And the nationals will cap things up. By the way, I made an announcement, the last two weeks. I said, look, everyone's asking me if I'm going to nationals. I'm like, I'm not going because I haven't got an apology from Steve Carroll. And I said, I probably never will. I said, but if you guys want to see me there and you're pissed off about the whole thing, email Pam Betts and tell her about it. Not that I feel bad for Pam, but Steve Carroll doesn't even have an email out there. So Pam runs the whole show. I said, email Pam or email the NPC office and tell them you want me there. So a couple of people CC'd me on the emails they sent over. And I saw Pam's answer to one of them. She's like, I don't make the rules. I'm not the promoter. Like, that I feel bad for Pam because she's like in the middle. Because I know Pam likes me and I get along with Pam really well. And she's been doing this she's just like, Steve Carroll's, she runs the show for Steve Carroll, essentially. Steve Carroll just makes the unpopular decisions. Pam does all the work. Pam does all the work. Steve just makes the decisions that are the ones that no one wants to hear, So, of course, I'm sure she told him about the emails that she's getting, but he doesn't care. It doesn't matter to him. So I'm not going to go. Fuck it. You think I really want to go? I'm going to go to Dubai a couple weeks after that. That's going to be way more entertaining for me.
Yeah.
I want to go to the nationals and watch 1,500 people compete. The only reason I'd go is because I have a bunch of really good competitors competing and I want to support them. But I don't care. With cell phones nowadays, I can have these guys send me videos and pictures every 2 hours. I mean, it's better than me being there. If I was there, I'd be so distracted I'd never see them anyway. So they get more attention from me not going there. That's the truth of it. And you know what? Do I really want to have to get my web guy to put up 1,500 people's pictures? It's like 10,000 pictures he has to tag. It's not even worth it.
It's a lot of work.
No one even cares. The only people who care are the people who are actually in the show. So let these other companies do it. I don't care. It's a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather go to Dubai, be treated like get the royal treatment, get flown in, put up in a hotel, picked up, dropped off. Full access to all the athletes. Actually, not only full access, but they're actually bringing me there to interview the athletes up on the main stage to make a big deal about the expo and promote the expo. That's called a good promoter. That's how you're supposed to promote an event, and that's why it's going to get great publicity, and people are going to be all excited about it, and we're going to have great content from it because I'm going to be interviewing all the top names in bodybuilding, including Guy Cisternino, including Kai Green, Jay. Whoever else is there.
No, I'll look forward to the Guy interview.
Yeah.
You can ask him if he's coming back.
I'm going to ask him about the Shawn Rhoden movie, how he liked it.
Yeah, I wonder if he saw it.
And I'm going to find out when the Guy Cisternino movie's coming out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the craziness of that documentary?
It's so funny that you just said craziness. I was just going to call it crazed.
Guy would take you hunting with him. We'd have to go hunting with him.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to do the
keeps
Guy
in contact.
Cisternino.
You go to his kindergarten teacher, that he regularly stays in touch with, and
the funny thing is that it would be a great story because I'm sure no one had more people tell him that you're not going to succeed in bodybuilding than Guy Cisternino. And he proved everyone wrong multiple times. But not only did he succeed and turn pro, he actually won pro shows. Who the hell? And went to
Multiple
Olympia.
pro shows.
Plays top 5 at the Olympia. I mean, that's beyond just barely doing well. He did great.
Yeah, he willed it.
Right? That's called hard work and persistent, dedication to something that, no matter what people tell you, you just don't listen to. I believe anyone can accomplish anything they want. I'm not saying that, and I'm sure Guy knows he'll never be Mr. Olympia, but he certainly, made his mark on that 212 class and will be remembered. That's for sure. And he's got a crazy personality too, which is great. So he's always good to, it's always a pleasure to interview him and get his opinions on things because he's not afraid to say it like it is. And there's a lot of guys out there who are, The 212 guys seem to be much more vocal. You notice that than the open guys?
No,
even Flex Lewis says what he wants, the
open guys, I think they think. I don't know what they think. I was going to say I think that they think that like what they say might affect their placings, or I mean, if you come out and say the judges, suck and I should place way higher, of course, Well,
you don't have to say that, but at the same time, you can still, comment and give your opinions on things in the sport. I mean, that's what being an icon in the sport, with being a leader in the sport is all about. It's like not being afraid to say, I like this, but I don't like this about it.
Well, you got to get, who you got to get on Iron Debate, Tony Freeman with Sean Allen. Because Freeman was always like, put a microphone in front of Tony Freeman and say, what did you think of the show? You're talking about placings, and he'd run everything from, the lighting to the oil backstage to,
That's right.
To the production value, and then he'd get into, where the placings should have gone. And then he'd break, he's the only guy who would break down a show in detail, not that he was in, of not only where he should have placed, but the guy who placed ahead of him and behind him, if they deserve their placings.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And it'd be so much detail, you get lost in the detail, and you say, geez, I think he's right.
Tony has good insights. I always said it.
Very good insights.
He just, I think what happened is at the end of his career, he just started getting a little delusional about it. But I think we all do that. I mean, you don't want to admit that you're done, you know what I mean? And it's tough to just kind of cut it off and say, okay, my best days are behind me now. They're not ahead of me anymore. But I think he could be a good analyst. I think if once he says, all right, you know what, I'm really, really done with this.
He'd be great with the Olympia wrap-ups.
Yeah, no, because he's very opinionated. Very opinionated, maybe too opinionated.
That's what I said. That's why his name came up.
Yeah, unbelievable. So what else is going on in the bodybuilding world? I'm looking at I don't really have any notes today, but I'm just looking at. I have a couple notes written down. Who else did I wanted to mention that I talked to recently? Oh, Shawn Ray called me. He sent me a picture of Flex Wheeler's calves.
You guys are like buddies now.
Yeah, we're best buddies now. Yeah, he sent me a picture of Flex Wheeler's calves. Remember the whole? For people who don't remember.
Yeah. Sean said had the grand jury investigate his calves or something.
There was I don't remember what year it is, but he made this huge statement that Flex had gotten calf implants. He felt, and that he wanted to get him. He wanted them to get him X-ray.
And Wayne
right?
D'Amelio came to Gold's with an X-ray machine or something, right?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the truth or not. Sean claims he did, and then he got him taken out, and then he sent me a picture of Flex on stage at the for the Classic Physique Olympia that he did, last year.
Yeah, no calves?
No, zero calves.
Well, dude, I mean, you know what? How about this? Maybe that was the case of I haven't trained like a bodybuilder for 10 years, and the last thing I want to train, because, calves is the most unsexy body part to train. Right?
Yeah.
Who cares, right?
Yeah.
Let's go train back. It'd be like, okay, great. Say, let's just go in and drive an hour to train calves. Oh, gosh.
I'm sure there's plenty of people do it, too. So I said, well, Sean, I'll get you on the show next week, and we could talk about Flex Wheeler's calves, what you think about them. Maybe we could do an iron debate about it. Did he really have calf implants? And I'm sure Flex will be pissed off about it, but that was Sean still contends that he had him and he had him taken out. I don't think anyone didn't they inspect it for scars and stuff like that. No one ever saw the scars. I remember. I'm going to tell you this is what I remember, because there was no way to validate things. There was no internet back then. My source of information was that Flex had calf implants put in through his ankle, and they ran him up that way so that he wouldn't see the scars behind his knee. Did you hear that? Did you ever hear that story?
No, I heard they put him in through his like forearms and pushed him all the way through, just in case Shawn was going to look at the ankles, because Shawn was on.
I always thought that Shawn just did that to fuck with Flex's head, but he really believed that he had calf implants. So he might have. Who knows?
Well, whose head was being screwed with? I guess if you're like getting ready for the Olympia and you're worried about someone's calves.
Maybe he's
wasn't not beating you, Shawn, on calves.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that was a weak. I think that was a weak part of his physique at some point.
Well, who cares? I mean, you know what? Who cares about calves in the scope of?
Lonnie Tieper does.
Yeah, I know he does.
He's obsessed with
like
calves.
his favorite body part.
He's completely obsessed with calves. Someone posted a picture. I don't know if you saw it. It's on my Facebook. I reposted it. Of 1991, there was an expo in Barcelona, Spain. I've told stories about Victor and I in Barcelona trying to find McDonald's before, but that was the expo we went to, and it was like a group guest posing. It was like Matt Duvall, me, Victor. There was some European guy. It's the European guy actually who posted the picture as like a throwback, and there was a couple girls there too. Pro girls there as well. And we all guest posed there and hung out at night. Oh, Dorian was there. Dorian didn't pose, but he was there just hanging out. And him and Victor were like, partying a lot. And I had a good time there, actually. It was pretty fun. They did a nice job. They put us up, in a nice hotel and everything like that. And Victor and I were starving. And I told you, we were running through the streets.
Yeah, you told that story, yeah.
But the guest posing picture, I looked at it. I had never seen pictures of myself up there guest posing. You know me. I was very lean I looked like I was contest ready in that picture.
Oh, of course you did.
And it was a crab most muscular. And I was like, well, I think I got Victor beat in this pose. It's nice when you see yourself next to like a top rate, should have been Mr. Olympia, Arnold Classic champ. And then you say, you know what? I think I look better than him in this pose. Not many people can say that, So, and Victor, of course, this was before I think right before he started working with you in 2001. He really had just won Nationals the year before, and he had kind of the structure, but he hadn't done anything special. He really never had gotten in really good shape. And then, what was it, 2003 when you got him in that crazy shape for the Night of Champions?
Yeah, 03, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when he really, went crazy. His physique was just off the charts. I don't think he ever got that lean again after that.
No, he was insanely peeled.
I remember those back shots. Blackman had some great pictures over at MD.
I remember to this day how I forget. I was just I was in the gym with him the day before, and I didn't really realize how good he was until like that day when there was a boxer, a really well-known boxer who came to the gym, and who liked bodybuilding, and Victor posed for him, and it's funny when he says I'm a boxer, but I've looked at bodybuilding magazines since I was a kid, and this guy's gonna win tomorrow.
Yeah, Victor was just off the charts. His back, I'd never seen his back so detailed before. Like
it was insane.
Lat striations were just nuts.
Yeah,
his glutes were crazy. He never got that hard again. Never.
Hamstrings were crazy.
Never. He looked good he looked pretty damn close to that when he did that show of strength, right? What was that, the following year?
Yeah, 2004. He looked crazy after the show of strength. Yeah,
that was off the charts too. He just was. It was like a different level of conditioning for Victor than we'd ever seen before, and I figured he would continue that, but he didn't. He was good with that year. What was the year that he should have won the Olympia? 2008? Yeah.
07.
Was it 07 that he almost beat Jay? Oh, yeah. And he looked good that year. He wasn't nutty, like looking like he was in 03 and 04. When did you stop working with him?
I worked with him 05 Olympia, and did he do anything in 06? 05 Olympia.
Yeah, I don't know why. That was the biggest mistake he ever made.
Because Blackman said, you got to work with Chad.
That's right.
Blackman inserted himself into
Blackman ruined. Blackman ruined fucking.
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't know about Chris.
Victor had one of those physiques that you can't give him too many drugs. Because if you give him too many drugs, it like blurs things. He just doesn't look as good. I'm sure you were doing minimalist stuff with him, and he was you were just dieting. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
And he just looked nutty because he didn't have like an unattainable looking physique. It was just a beautiful physique, you know.
Yep.
All the lines, you saw all the detail in his.
He had the bells and the whistles, as I would say.
He didn't have a lot. He wasn't huge. He just was everything was right. It flowed right. After that, he tried to get too big, and I think that ruined his physique, you know.
Yeah, when he came out for that Night of the Champions, you know, it's a New York crowd. New York crowd's the best crowd, especially. Anyways, the crowd went completely
Bonkers,
nuts before he did a quarter turn.
Yeah, they went crazy.
Of course, Kamali thought he was in the mix there with them.
was Titus in that show too?
Titus was in that show. That was the battle royal they had with
Kamali. It actually took the fanfare away from Victor a little bit because everyone wanted to see Kamali fight Titus on stage. That's really what they were there for. No one even cared about anyone else. Victor looked great and won the show, and it was, of course, his hometown crowd. I mean, Victor's a New York City boy. I mean, he trains in all the New York City gyms. So it was great for that. But people wanted to see people don't remember this. People wanted to see Titus, and we all thought Titus and Kamali would fight because I know Titus would have thrown down. I knew Kamali probably wouldn't do it, but we knew that they were going to mock each other on stage, and there would probably be some bumping on stage. But and I'm sure Kamali knew that Titus was a hothead. That if he pushed it a little too far, that Titus probably would hit him. You know, that's the way Gregg was. He didn't just put snap. You know, he didn't give a shit. And but those were the days. There wasn't a lot of shows, so Night of Champion was a big show. It was a big deal.
You get like 50 guys,
and they would get it would be like every European guy that because there was no European shows aside from the European Grand Prix tour, and you really couldn't do that unless you were like an Olympia guy. So all these European guys for their first show would come and do, including Dorian. Dorian said the same thing. You come and did the Night of Champions to try to make a name for yourself. Nasser. Wayne would actually go take trips to Europe and try to find the greatest talent.
That's right.
You know, remember? He would go and he would tell these guys, "Oh, you're not going to believe this guy. I got this guy, the dinosaur. His name is Sean Davis. Wait till you see him. You know, I got this guy Nasser El Somebody. You're not going to believe what he looks like." And there was no internet, so no one knew what these guys looked like.
Yeah,
there was no pictures.
They'd go out and find them.
You wouldn't see them until you went to the Night of Champions. So that everyone went to the show to see, and then people would go home and tell you, "Oh, you got to see this guy. I saw this guy. You should have been at the show." And you'd have to wait 6 months, 3 months before the magazines came out with the pictures. From the
is that where Benaziza first?
Yeah, Mamo Benaziza first time there. Levrone made his name for himself there. I mean, he had won the Nationals, but I mean that was the
I think that was Levrone's all-time best. Ask Levrone what he thinks. Yeah, but to me, that was his all-time best.
He was wacky when he won that.
Either that or his first Olympia.
Yeah, well, it was right after that. It was a couple months after that. But yeah, that first year he was phenomenal. And I mean, there was just so many names who came out of that Night of Champions. But then what happened was it wasn't that the New York Pro is still a great show. The problem is now that there's so many shows, so you don't need everyone doing that show. And that was a show that people don't realize. The Night of Champions, when you would see guys like Kenny Jones, like just there would be great guys, and then there would be like people who were out of their mind on the stage. Kenny Jones would be dressed as Michael Jackson.
The Canadian elderly guy.
Kenny Jones, remember he did that Michael Jackson routine? He was dressed as Michael Jackson. He had the glove and everything like that. Then you'd have Jocelyn Peltier from Canada.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Jocelyn Peltier. Yeah,
absolutely horrendous. Like he couldn't win. He couldn't win the worst bodybuilding show out there, and he was.
Yeah, it was like the Gong Show.
Yeah, it was like it was just like a bunch of so many weird, wacky. And then there were people that tried to make comebacks. I remember Gaspari tried to make a comeback that one year on the champion stage. I even remember he posted the final countdown. It was like a throwback routine, and it was good. He just wasn't that. He was ripped. He just wasn't big enough. But it was a stage that made people famous, and or it ruined your career because you looked. The New York fans would boo you. They either loved you or they hated you.
They'd heckle you. They would laugh.
Yeah.
They would laugh at people.
They'd boo them off stage.
Yep, they would laugh at people and they'd go nuts for people.
There was not much in between.
And they would do fun call-outs too. They would do like Jocelyn Peltier and like Dorian Yates. They would do nutty shit like that.
Yeah, to get the crowd going nuts, right? Yeah. They would.
Yeah. No, I know they would. They would do all the real call-outs, and then they would do fun call-outs at the end. I remember when they did the this was on the Olympia stage, but they did the Lou Ferrigno Flavio Bastianini. Call it. Flavio was 4'9", 4'9". Ferrigno was 6'5", and Ferrigno weighed 320 pounds, and Flavio was probably like 160, 155. He was like Sean Clarita, except shorter. And I mean, it was great. I mean, that's the fun stuff I remember. That you can't see, and all the pictures. Those pictures were all always in the magazines, right? Those fun pictures.
Oh yeah.
So
the Flavio one's a famous one.
Yeah, he was
really
a good bodybuilder too.
No, I mean the picture with him and Ferrigno.
Yes, yeah, because they were having a lot of fun up there together with it. So, I texted Ronnie. I texted Robbie Robinson last week. I almost forgot I did. I got to get back to him. I Facebooked him, and he actually got back to me. Said he wanted to interview. I tried to set it up. He didn't respond back though. I have to follow up. I'm glad I reminded myself. I was thinking about the Masters Masters Olympia just now, and then I said because I want to ask Robbie about that. When they had to come looking for him. He was like hidden away in some kind of mountain retreat or something like that. And they went, like Wayne had to send a search party up there to find Robbie Robinson. So Lou Ferrigno would have some competition at the Masters Olympia. And then Robbie wound up winning it 2 years in a row. So I wanted to get the story behind that. I wanted to find out what the hell happened, And I don't know if you've seen pictures of Robbie. Robbie's in his 70s. He looks phenomenal. He looks way better than I do. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, he's got no shoulder injuries.
No, he's shredded. He's probably still training with the 100 sets of workout.
Well, he used to train with. What was it? I guess he was still in his late 50s, but he used to train every day with Cormier.
Oh, he did. I didn't. Yeah, that's right. I think you told me that once before. I think Cormier actually told us that, right?
Yeah.
I think recently he was training with Cormier. In his 70s, he was training with Cormier.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He probably. He probably could bury Chris in the gym right now, because Chris is not one of these. I don't think Robbie has ever missed more than 1 or 2 days out from the gym. He's a guy who will take off 2 or 3 days and then he goes right back. He lives the lifestyle, and when you live the lifestyle and you have no stress and nothing else going on, you can still look good at 70-something years old. When you have tons of responsibility and stress in your life, you don't look so good at 70.
Yep.
Plus, he's a genetic freak anyway. I mean, let's face it. He probably should have won a lot more shows than he did back in the day.
Oh, he was phenomenal in his day.
From the people, and I want to ask him about this too. I heard that, and I didn't know this, but was there the racism back in the 70s? In bodybuilding.
That's all gone away now.
Bodybuilding.
Huh?
In bodybuilding, I'm talking about.
Oh.
Because Sergio said that his dad felt that there was racism, and I'm sure Robbie, a lot of people felt Robbie should have won a couple shows that he probably didn't win because of maybe he wasn't marketable. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure Robbie is the best person to ask for it.
I'm going
to see he lived through it.
Yeah. Sometimes there's unspoken racism too. No one's really saying anything negative to you, but you're just not getting what you deserve.
Yeah.
Luckily, nowadays it's really, and maybe some African American guys would disagree with me, but I don't see any racism in our sport. If anything, there's racism against the white guys in the sport. But no, I think it's very fair, and you know what? There's really no color boundaries. I don't, I think everyone gets along. I've never seen any. I've never personally witnessed any racism. Or see anyone doing any. I guess I would have to speak to a black person to really find out if that's the case. But I think I've talked to a lot of black guys and asked them about that, and they say, the bodybuilding there's no color in bodybuilding. It's just you
got to ask Sean Allen. You got to ask Big Sean.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I'll ask him on Iron Rage. Sean, but racism in bodybuilding, does it exist? What are you talking about? Of course it exists. Come on, Dave. I'll ask Sean Ray. I'll let Sean Ray and Sean Allen debate on that. That'll be a fun one.
That would be a good debate. Right? That would be a good debate. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! All the I have to come up with, now that we're coming to the end of the season. I got to come up with ideas and stuff like that for when the show season's over. I have to have the content. That's why I'm getting my shoulder done around Christmas time, because I figure Christmas, New Year's is dead anyway. Take some time and just
if something big will happen, you'll miss it.
You know me, I won't miss it. I'll report from the hospital. I'll turn my cell phone on. I'll
Well, you have
I'll upload it.
you have done the radio from when you had your shoulder injury.
Yeah.
I mean, you first sold the shirt. Wait a minute. You definitely reported because Scooter was part of it, and Scooter's girlfriend was part of the show. You would.
Oh right, what was that? When I had my leg done, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I had my quad redone one of the times, I did it from the hospital bed. You know what? Sitting in the hospital, I get a lot of work done. Usually, as long as I'm not in pain, I'm good because there's nothing really to do in the hospital all day long. So, you know, it's disgusting to admit it, but I encourage people not to come visit me at the hospital because then it cuts into my work time. You know, into my my email answering and catching up time on all my stuff. Because I like to sleep a little bit. I get up, watch a little TV, I eat my meal, and then I could do my emails. Mm-hmm. So the terrible thing I know is Amanda really can't come to the surgery because it's like 2.5 hours away in Tampa. So I'm sure we'll be on the phone most of the time. But so I'm gonna have like one of my actually I think I might have Tyler. Tyler, my producer, agreed to take me to the hospital, and I got to stay there for 3 days after the surgery, or it's 2.5 days, whatever it is. So. I'll have so much free time to work while I'm there. it'll be great.
You might you'll probably be in a creative mode.
Yeah, I might call you up and say, Chris, we got to do a special
great
edition.
Idea. I think it's a great idea, Dave.
Radio show, right from the hospital. I thought I heard Sean Allen in the background.
Maybe he's trying to take the back door way onto the show.
That's right. All right, you know what? Let's wrap this up. It is Saturday night here, and I know you didn't get a lot of sleep. You slept in the airport. I got up early. I actually picked up a snake in snake rack in Tampa today. But I got up really early. But at least I slept in a bed last night. You didn't. You slept on the ground. I don't care how long you sleep on the ground. There's no way you can get a good quality of sleep with sleeping on the ground.
No.
All right, Chris. That's I guess next week. We got 2 weeks to Nationals. Are you going to be out at Nationals?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay. When do you get out there?
I think Tuesday or something like that.
All right, so you'll report for us. You'll give us you'll give me the updates from there. Let me know what's going on. See if if Steve Carroll kicks anyone else out of the show. There's no one left. That's the funny thing. They got rid of me now. There's no one left to cover the show. They only got NBC News there, and they're backstage anyway. So.
Well, they I mean, that's enough. Right?
You know, we think my wife and I think we have a ghost in the house. I'm not sure if it's her sister or my father, but my son's got this like potty. You know, when they get potty trained, that when you pee in the potty, you know how it like sings a song. The thing. I don't know if you had sophisticated potties like that when you.
Yeah, we didn't have the high tech stuff. What's that, like a Google party or something?
No, I don't know. It's a potty. You pee as soon as the pee hits the thing. It like sings a song so it gets the kids all excited. So for the last couple nights, the thing's been going off in the middle of the night. Like I'm sitting working one.
Oh, on its own.
Yeah, on its own, and I run out there to make sure like the cat isn't sitting on it or something like that, setting it off. Nothing. No one. So. We got ghosts in the house. I don't know. And like I said, we're trying to figure out who it is because I said I don't. You know my dad. That's not my dad's style, right? To flush a toilet.
Yeah.
That's more her sister's style because she's like a practical joker. I said that's probably his sister. I don't think my dad would do something way more like creative than that.
Well, you gotta get the Long Island Madam to come down.
I know. That's what we watch that all the time now. The Long Island Medium, and I'm like, man, she would be. Great. She'd read my father in 2 seconds, probably. She'd be like, your dad is telling me that I could lose a few pounds. Yeah, that's my dad. that's all the validation I need. We can wrap this up now. Your dad said I have a fat ass and that he thinks I should lose a few pounds and that you might be able to help me. Yeah, that's my dad. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Did he flush the toilet? She's like, he said, are you kidding? What are you even asking? He's insulted that you would even ask that. I said, okay, that's my dad. Yeah. No doubt about it. I said, was it my dad the one that did my dad leave the chalk diagram on the driveway, the picture of Picasso? Yeah, he said he did that. Okay.
No, when you hear the cork pop, then you know it's your father.
You remember that wine bottle you broke the other day? Yeah, that was your dad. I said, okay. That makes sense. All right, guys. Don't go selling steroids to any mad bombers like Valentino did. That's my quote of the week. Until next week, remember with Heavy Muscle Radio, Chris.
The truth hurts.
Good night, everyone.